Hey guys, so I just thought I'd jump on and do a quick video about the market at the moment. We seem to be putting in those local tops I was kind of warning about in the last video. Bitcoin, I'd be looking for it to pull back into this this fair value gap, or even the 50% level. I'd say anywhere between 111 and 114 is going to be your buying opportunities, so still hold off leverage until we drop down into these areas. USDT dominance, that would line up if Bitcoin pulls back to there. USDT dominance would also be meeting that resistance at the same time. So you've broken out of this bear flag, pushed down, and now you're coming for an SR flip. So I'd say simultaneously that's gonna line up with Bitcoin touching the tag in this fair value gap level. So hold off, and then that's your buy the dip opportunity there. That'll turn this into an SR flip also. So altcoins, ETH, I'd look for a pullback into this fair value gap, which is also the yearly open and the 50% on the fib. So buy levels on ETH 3275 to 3388. Sui seems to be tagging this fair value gap now, which lines up for 618, the downsloping trend line break from this big channel. So I think Sui's in a pretty good opportunity now. It could come back to this level, but we want to see it hold. We want to see it turn that trend line into support ideally. So he's actually at a pretty good level now. That's a bit of an SR flip, as well as the 70 on the fib, or just through the 618 to the 786, sort of in the golden pocket now. And then you'd be looking for a bounce here, get up over this level, turn that into support, and then we should be good for continuation. Solana doing, so Sol's at the 50 now. I'd wait. I think if Bitcoin pulls back, you're going to see Sol pull back into the 618. That's a perfect buy level for Sol. Like, you can't get any better than that. And then so if you're taking a leverage long, you want to see it come into that 618. I think this is going to be a good one coming up. Sol needs to build strength again. So you tap into here, you'll enter a buy, which also lines up for the 200 EMA. So you've got that for support. You've got all this for support. Horizontal flip, the 618. If you look at this stochastic, that should also line up with when that's at the bottom. Yeah, so that's at the bottom now. So if you tap into the 618, that's a perfect buying opportunity. You got a ton of support there, and stop loss under the 786, and you'd actually be aiming for, off this move, the 100 up here on the fib. But if you get this push, you can probably leave the trade open and just trail your stops up. You should be pretty safe once it makes its next move. So what you want to be looking to do is you want to buy here, and then once it breaks this trend line, add to your position, and then you can build a mega leverage position. So if you tap in here, jump out of it to about here, and then it should retest the 618. So you buy your position here, add on the breakout, add more on the 618 retest, and then when it comes back to that 618 retest, you'll draw another trend line and then add to the position there again, and then basically move your stops to break even once you get this push up, and then you've built a mammoth leverage position, and you've got no risk, and then you can aiming for there at the very worst, this level, which is the 618 of where we broke down from on the daily. So I think you're going to get resistance here. So when Sol had this big breakdown, that's the 618. So I think it's going to take a bit to push through there, but I think we will push through eventually. So you'd want to take some profits at that level, move your stops up, and then try and let it run into a big swing long. Sonic, trades on Sonic. Let's tidy this up. So Sonic, you broke under a massive trading range. Here's your big trading range. You've broken under it, but you've just broken the downtrend. So we want to recapture this and hold it, but for now your buys on Sonic are probably lining up pretty well with now almost. There you go, so 618. So you've snapped the downtrend, started an uptrend. You might tap in under here, but I'd say the 618 is a good level to buy, because this is that where you lost the downtrend. So on Sonic, I think 31 now to 31 cents could be a good buy level, and then you're looking to recapture that trading range. And then if you want to build a position on, like I just said, on Solana, you can do it the same, but I think Sonic has been a bit weaker. I think you want to do that on the stronger coins like Sui, Solana, ETH, Cardano. See, in that video the other day I was saying not to enter positions for this reason. So what was I saying? Literally go back to that last video. I said you're coming into resistance and Bitcoin needs a pullback. If Bitcoin pulls back, we're going to reject at this level. So what did you just save yourself by waiting? You just saved yourself 15% drawdown, and then now you're tapping into the buy levels, which is the fair value gap here and the 618. So you got this fair value gap, which is lining up with the 618. So just from that video the other day, you saved yourself 16% drawdown, and like I was saying, if we did happen to break out, we would have retested here, and then you've confirmed the breakout, and you've brought it at the same price anyway, but now you've got yourself almost a 20% discount, and then same thing, break of that, build a position here, add to it on the breakout, add to it on the retest of the 618, and then you should be laughing. You should be able to turn a lot of these into swing longs, but pretty much the same across the board. AVAX, oh, that's a mess, Jesus Christ. Let's clean this up. Exact same thing I said on AVAX. What did I say? I said you're coming into resistance. Check the last video, it's exactly what I said. You're coming into resistance. If you reject here, you could potentially... if Bitcoin puts in a deeper correction, you can potentially lose another 30% just in this range. So you could either get a 30% discount, excuse me, or what are we looking at? You'd want to see it trickle down. I want to see it grab support at the 50, so the 2170 or 2064, and start to bounce from there. And then you can, since we're in a bit of a trading range on AVAX, I probably wouldn't jump in on this until you snap this this mini internal downtrend. So just track a trend line down here. And then enter on the break of the trend. So if we trickle down, I'd expect us to push into here, and then as soon as you get that break, there's your entry, and then 618 pullback from there, add to the position, bang. You can even add on this breakout of the pullback to the 618, add on that breakout, bang. So just we're almost at buy levels, but just need a little bit more patience, I think, on some of them, because I think Bitcoin is going to come back a bit further. I don't really like. I don't like this. So I'd want to see it catch support at this 50. You don't really want to see it. I don't really want to see it drop back inside of here. Otherwise, yeah, again, you're just waiting for that trend line breakout. I'll look at some of the meme coins. Where's Brett? Brett, a mess on this chart too. Exactly what I said about it. Look, I literally drew that the other day. So I said you could reject here because you're coming into resistance and pull back to the 618, which coincides with that down sloping trend line. So yeah, here's your buy zone on Brett. You got the 200 EMA on the daily, the 50. You'd want to see it hold support at this 50 or the 618. You don't want to see it break this uptrend and close under it, but you got the fair value gaps. You're in a fair value gap, lines up with the 618. So fair value gap, 618, upsloping trend line, 200 EMA, that's as good an entry as you can get almost. And then, you're aiming higher. I'll leave this on the chart and see how it goes. So I think we'll tap in here, find a bit of resistance here, push through, retest on the horizontal, and then you should be away from there, and then it's just recapturing levels after that, yeah. If you could just, whatever your coin is, chuck it in the comments and I'll evaluate it on the next one, but otherwise it's just, guys, chuck the same evaluation for everything. Doge, little cup and handle, look at that. Where did I put that on here? I spotted that cup and handle, it broke out, just rocketed. So Doge, so we have fair value gap, which lines up with the SR flip, 50%. You could come back to the 50 or the 618, and then it's just the same with everything, guys. Like once you break those trends, there's your entries. I think it will find support here. You got the 50, the 200, the 618. It's also the breakout level of the cup and handle, so you could retest that, and then rocket from there. Enter again, enter again on that, and then you've built a mammoth position, trying to ride that back up to all-time highs. So Doge, that'll also line up if we get a pullback to that 50 or 618. With that should reset the stochastic. What am I doing? The stochastic RSI as well should be, pretty reset by then to give it some more momentum to drive up. But yeah, I just thought I'd jump on quickly and go through a couple of coins and give an update. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll do my best to update daily. I'm going to start doing Forex updates daily as well, giving trades like this. So yeah, thanks guys.